Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys in California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahushai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, we are in a time of revealing. And that is exactly what we are seeing on a daily basis. If you remember, the Most High opened up our understanding to Joel chapter 2 a few years ago. And what's amazing is that there's so many people that talk about being woke, but have never even touched on the information that we brought out and the understanding that was brought out on Joel chapter 2. See, there's a whole lot of things that had to be, a whole lot of moving parts that had to be fulfilled in order to make the things that the Most High showed us, to actually come true. And that's exactly what you're seeing today. We knew that the armies of the Americas here, because we know that Joel 2 is talking about the Americas. But see, if you're still stuck with just pushing the so-called Middle East, that stuff isn't going to matter. It's not going to make any sense. And you're going to constantly be trying to push everything in the so-called Middle East. But this is talking about the movement and the removal of the army from the Americas. This, there was an alien force that was brought over here to subdue us. And they were going to have a certain time here to be able to have the power over our people. But that time was going to come with an expiration date. And that's exactly what you're seeing going on right now. Now you're seeing how for the last year, Joe Biden, old Joe, has been sending our forces secretly over to Europe and sending a lot of military equipment over there as well. Well, Off Grid did a video a couple days ago talking about how there's all this military equipment, all these tanks and armored personnel and all this other stuff sitting there on all these different areas waiting to move into like Western Ukraine. So it wasn't like this is stuff that's been planned for a very long time. Now you kind of see why there's been like a blank check sent over there. They've been sending all this equipment, giving the Ukrainians the old equipment to fight with, while the Americans have been, and I'm sure other countries too, have been setting up their equipment at the borders, the newer equipment at the borders. Okay? But this is all part of Joel chapter 2. And see, we've already talked about this. This is prophecy being fulfilled. But see, we got people still in the, saying they're in the truth, still pushing the chip. I still saw another video. Are you going to take the chip? Are you going to take the mark? The mark's already here. Are you? I mean, there's all these other prophecies being fulfilled, but they're doing their job. Their job is to keep you looking at the same old garbage that the priesthood of Mahan has pushed this whole time. Nothing new. But that's okay. We'll continue because the Most High is confirming so much information, and you kind of wait and you kind of look to see if other supposed woke people or awakened or Israelites or whatever else are going to bring out this information, and they're still talking about the chip, still talking about Jacob's trouble getting ready to happen. Still talking about the same things over and over again. So, like I said, it's not for everyone, I guess, to bring out. So we got to start making these connections that many are missing. Okay? Now, let's see here. When this explosion in Palestine, Ohio happened, I want to say it was February 3rd. Okay? I didn't really hear too much about it in the news, so I wasn't all that aware of what was going on. But for the last few days, the Most High has been moving me to kind of look more into this, to look more into it. And then you start to see how this is all part of prophecy as well. But what they're showing you is this. Okay? They're done. They're not even trying to fix problems here anymore. They're not even trying to put a nice face to it. You know, they would usually try to put like a lipstick on a pig and try to make it seem as if, they're going to fix it. We're going to be here for you people. We're going to do this for you. We're going to do that for you. And then nothing gets done, of course. But at least, they show up. Government shows up. And at least, they get their photo ops going on. And everything, at least the first few days before the story disappears. Just like all these hurricanes. I always think about that with the hurricanes. There'd be hurricanes that come and just wipe out towns, wipe out cities. And they would be there for a day, give you a little bit of information. And then after that, all media coverage ceases. And then you don't hear anything about those places again. Well, this one, it didn't even start. Didn't even start. Now, I listened to a couple of videos from Redacted, and they were bringing out some, a couple of guys who just kind of showed up. And these guys showed up, and there's like nobody else there. This is the one like earlier today. There was like one guy there. He was there videotaping. He was videotaping what was going on. He was actually where the site actually where the crash happened. And there was no other media people there at all. And they were talking about how so many people have not come back, even though they said quickly, hey, you guys can go ahead and come on back in, but then we'll test afterwards and let you know how the water is. Just use some bottled water for right now. I was like, you guys had plumes of toxic chemicals all over the place, burning stuff off, stuff going into the water, fish dying all over the place. But you're like, come on back in. You guys are good to go. This just shows you that they are finished. They are done. They're not even trying to put a good face to it anymore. They know that their time here is a wrap. And that's why the people who still put their faith in this system and think that, 20 years down the road, things will be better. 15, 20, 25 years down the road, I'm going to have my retirement. I'm going to be doing well. See, that's not going to happen. We've been telling you that, but you've been wanting to believe that lie so hard. You've been wanting to keep, you believe in that lie and just holding on to that tree of lies. It's a huge hurricane coming with 100-mile-an-hour winds, but you're hugging onto that tree about, things going back to normal. You want to believe that lie. But like I said, it's not going to happen. And they're showing you right here that they're not going to help you. And what else was exposed was the fact that all these different presidents, I think they went back like 5 different presidents and all the different Congresses, Senates, all of them have been lobbied by the train companies here, by these railroad companies, to pretty much don't push all these regulations. A lot of these safety regulations don't do. Oh, don't put these new brakes on here because it's going to cost too much money. Oh, well, we don't need that many people, so they end up firing a lot of people. So that now when this something like this happened right here, where there was a huge, crash, that like it's really difficult for politicians to come out and say anything negatively, because all they got to do is go back and look at the record. Go back and look at the fact that they have, sold themselves out to all these corporations. See, we've already known this, but now it's right there in front of your face. This just shows you that you as a person, the people, they've never cared about. See, us Israelites, we've always known that. They've never cared about us. But you guys are okay with that as long as it didn't affect you. As long as you still got your flowers. As long as you still got your perks. It was okay. But see, now, all of a sudden, you're being treated like us. You're being treated just like we have been treated. And now there's a problem. And Redacted, the main guy, was talking about that. Like, whoa, why, where's Joe Biden? Where's Joe Biden? Where's the administration? Well, if this was black people, they'd be like all over it because that goes with their agenda. But since it's, it's like a lot of lower class white people, they don't want to show up. You see, they look for any reason to try to flip it around and show that reverse racism. I'm like, bro, you need about 500, 600 more years of being treated like some niggas before you can get any sympathy from anyone. You see what I'm saying? Like, you guys go through one issue and you haven't even gone through it. You're just getting started with it. And you're already calling out the whole race thing and how you're not being treated the same. And if we were black, we'd be treated so much better. They went to black areas and they did their little photo ops there too and left and didn't do anything from them either. The only thing that's different here is they haven't come to do their photo out. They're talking about how the governor came and how he did his little spiel about how things are good and this and that. And then after that, it's been like radio silence, nothing. No one's been saying much of anything. But see, this is all part of prophecy. This is like a small microcosm of what's going on worldwide. This is just a small example of what's going on worldwide. You see what I'm saying? Like they were talking about this is the America's Chernobyl. Talking about this being America's Chernobyl. Because, the stuff has gotten into the water possibly. It's in the air possibly, even though they keep saying the air is fine. It's funny, so they're letting the company investigate themselves now, right? They're letting them do all the stuff, all the cleanup, and letting the company dictate what's good and what's not. Kind of like cops being able to investigate themselves. Kind of like the government being able to investigate themselves. Kind of like the military being able to investigate themselves. See, nothing new. These are things that you guys have been doing the entire time. But now it's being exposed because now it's affecting the other constituents that you gave perks to, which kept them quiet. Now they're just handing them out $1,000 checks. We're trying to help you guys out here. Come get your $1,000 check. Like $1,000, how long is that going to help you for? With inflation, as expensive as everything is, $1,000 is not going to go very far. And one of the guys was saying, one of these politicians was like, make sure you don't sign away your rights when you accept that check, for like legal whatever, be able to do something to them legally in the future, because for the guys, there's a senator, I think he said that that's what these corporations will do. They'll give you like $1,000 check, but they make you sign away all your rights. And I'm like, well, yeah, you guys already know what they do, but you give them the leeway to do it. You see what I'm saying? So what you're seeing is a microcosm to everything. The Gentiles have lost, their blessing. No matter, they know that they cannot fix this issue. They know they cannot clean up this mess. But it's funny how they make it sound like they have all this technology to shoot down UFOs and this, and that. But they can't even take care of a toxic spill here that they made. They just wanted to hurry up and burn stuff off so they can open up their tracks and keep the money flowing. That again shows you how the things that they would do in order to keep their money flowing. Here at the end, even when you can see that, hey, if we burn this stuff off, it might affect all these people. Yeah, man, but we got to keep this money flowing. We got to keep this money going. We got to keep this money flowing, because that's what we do. Now, imagine how this went down 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 100 years ago, when there weren't so many cameras around, when it was our people that were mainly being affected. They don't care about their own people. You think they cared at all about us doing these kinds of things to us? Just like when they used to experiment on our people. Oh man, we don't want to spend money on anesthesia. You know what I'm saying? All these, these black women, they don't feel pain, so don't give them any anesthesia. Just go ahead and experiment on them. They're good. It costs too much money for that anesthesia. A Tuskegee, experiment. Yeah, we want to find out how the syphilis deals with, it hurts people. So, we want to just go ahead and experiment on these people over here. We're going to experiment on them. We got to, keep this information flowing so we can make this money later on in the future. But is that unethical? Yeah, it might be a little unethical, but that's okay. It's all in the name of science. We got to keep the money flowing. We got to keep it going. See, all these things have to be paid for. And just because now you're being inconvenienced a little bit doesn't make it equal. Oh, this is just like Flint, Michigan. Did Flint, Michigan get fixed? Did all these different did these other places get fixed? Were these people made whole? We were never made whole. And if it was up to you, you would be continuing to do stuff like this and getting away with it, and even worse, and not caring about the people. This is why the Most High is now bringing judgment. This is why everywhere you go around the world, everything you touch, it used to turn to gold. Now it turns to shit, because you're not blessed anymore. So like I said, that's why I said this is like a microcosm. You can't fix anything anymore. You can't cover it all up anymore. The Most High is exposing everything that you've done. He's letting people see how you operate. He's exposing how you don't care about people. All you care about is money and things. And you will just, use society to keep people busy talking about things that mean nothing. You sit there listening to like sports, all day, and how they just talk about, well, who's the GOAT? Who's the best player for this? And who's the best player for that? And, where's this person going to go? Where is this person going to end up? Where's this person going to go in free agency? Oh, can you believe this person said this? Let's talk about that, for the next 3 days, about a certain comment or something like that. Let's talk about another man's pockets and how much money he's making and how much is he really worth. And, and that's what the whole world revolves around. Just talking about other people and other things and things that don't matter. When it's time to talk about things that matter, oh, well, we know about the Bible. It's all about love. It's all love. It's all of us all coming together and loving one another. Yeah, is that what you show the world every day with the things that you do, with the things that you talk about? You talk about making other people whole that have been destroyed for the last few hundred years, or do you just ignore them? It's you mean it's about love going forward from this point? But what's happened before means nothing. How you paid for your party, your 500 plus year party before, doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about paying that. That's why things like this happen, so that you can look at it and see, like, hey, this is just showing you that, and it's actually being shown. It's showing you here, but it's also being supported with the events that are going on worldwide. If you're not looking, like even now you look over at all these different countries. Many countries supported, the United States and many of the things they've done, because it was their time of the blessing and they wanted part of the blessing too. So therefore, they went along with it. You see if you saw the big earthquake over there in Syria, right, in Turkey, and then all of a sudden you don't hear about it anymore. Oh, I think that was because maybe they started to complain about how the West wasn't helping them. They complained about how the West wasn't really helping them with the recovery. So as soon as they heard that stuff just went right off the television. You see what I'm saying? You're talking about Ukraine and how Russia's losing this and Russia can't win and Russia can't do that. But if that's the case, why are they sending so many of our troops and so much of our equipment over there to the borders of the Ukraine? If the Ukrainians already got it and they're already winning, then they shouldn't need our stuff, right? But like I said, this is how this whole world has been. It's always been about saying one thing when something else is going on. And that's something else that the Most High is exposing now. That all this stuff, like I said, that they've been saying has been a bunch of lies. Okay? So let's take a real quick look at Joel chapter 2. Okay? Checking to see where I want to start. We'll start at 10. Joel 2 and 10. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army. For his camp is very great, for he is strong with that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart, and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, Spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, Where is their God? You had your time of doing that, destroying us and saying, Where's your God? Mocking our power. You've had your time. That has now come to an end. Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. Yea, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, Behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith. And I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen. We have been a reproach among these people. Now they are reaping the whirlwind. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and I will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. There's a removal of that army. That's what you've been seeing Biden doing with his army. Fear not, O land. Be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring. For the tree beareth her fruit. The fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he hath given you the former rain, moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. And the floors shall be full of wheat, and the fats shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm. My great army will I send, which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty, and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that hath dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never be ashamed. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. Most High is showing you right here that these people, they've made their bed. Now they're lying in it. They've made their decisions to let these corporations make all this money, not have to pay, not have to pay to try to be safe and take care of the people. All about their profits, all about squeezing out as much money as possible. And now the Most High is exposing the politicians, the companies, and everyone that's been aligned with them. He's exposing all the ones that have been aligned with the Gentiles. All praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.